Hey everybody! Hey Cadence, do you know what we're gonna learn about today?
No clue.
We're gonna learn about the Declaration of Independence.
Are you trying to say the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah, I'm only 7.
Okay then, do you want to learn about the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah! Let's learn about the Declaration of Independence!
Before 1776, the United States of America was not a country. The individual states were colonies of the British Empire. They were called British colonies. This means that the King and Parliament of Great Britain ruled the colonies.
The colonists' original goal in fighting the British was to give themselves more freedom, but still remain loyal to the crown. But by the spring of 1776, many of them believed they needed to be independent of Great Britain. So in June of 1776, the Continental Congress selected a small group of 5 men to write the official Declaration of Independence.
Hey, guess what? Thomas Jefferson was chosen to write this historic document, which was then approved by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776.
The group of men who created the Declaration of Independence knew that they were committing treason and could be killed for this crime. Thomas Jefferson was a very well-educated man. He was a talented writer as well as a scientist, inventor, lawyer, architect, and a musician. He studies many types of different writing, and one of the men who he read was named John Locke. John Locke believed that government is an agreement between leaders and the people, and if the government wasn't working for the people, then the people had the right to choose a new government, and Thomas Jefferson believed this as well. Jefferson also did not like slavery, but he didn't know how to find a solution for it. He even had slaves himself, and in the Declaration of Independence, he wrote a list of complaints against the king, including his belief that the king made slavery possible. But the Continental Congress removed that line. John Hancock, who was the president of the Continental Congress, signed his name first. His is also the largest signature, and it is believed he did this because he wanted King George III to be able to read Hancock's name without needing to wear his glasses. The Declaration of Independence was written on parchment paper with iron gall ink. Parchment paper is actually animal skin, which is very thin and treated. The Founding Fathers were a bit careless with it though, however, rolling it up and carrying it with them wherever they went. Today, it is displayed in a bulletproof case filled with argon gas to preserve it. The Declaration of Independence has inspired people worldwide to view themselves and the role of government in a brand new way, and this document gives people hope and dignity. The American colonists were British citizens, but they were not being treated like citizens by the British Parliament or by the King. The British Parliament kept passing mean laws that bothered the colonists. So when the colonists tried to argue these laws, more laws were passed that caused even more abuse.
The colonists were getting more and more angry about the way things were.
The Continental Congress decided to fight back. They decided the colonies needed to be independent from Britain.
Thomas Jefferson wrote the original Declaration in only 4 days. He edited it a bit over the next 2 weeks. When he was finished, he gave a copy to Ben Franklin and John Adams to read and edit before their next meeting of Congress.
The Declaration was not a long document.
It begins with 2 sentences. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
Hey, guess what? On July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. Did you know that only 2 people signed the Declaration on July 4th? John Hancock, the President of the Continental Congress, and Charles Thomson, who was the Secretary.
500 copies of the Declaration were printed and handed out.
It was not until August 2nd, 1776, that 56 men, including John Hancock, signed a fresh copy of the Declaration of Independence. King George in Britain received his copy on August 10th. The Declaration of Independence contained 3 important points the congressional representative of the 13 colonies wanted King George to know. First, the documents told the king that they believed made good government. Secondly, it described which rules and taxes the people thought were unfair. The last statement the representatives included was to declare the colonies free and independent from Britain. Essentially, the Declaration of Independence declared war against King George and Great Britain. Many believe that the most famous and important parts of the Declaration of Independence were, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Underneath the word citizens, there is actually a smudge mark, likely from a mistake or error. Historians have always wondered what was under the smudge. And special imaging technology has now allowed us to look under the word. Jefferson made a big mistake and accidentally wrote the word subjects instead of citizens. 56 men signed the Declaration of Independence. The youngest signer of the Declaration of Independence was Edward Rutledge. He was only 26 years old.
The 5 people that were the original members chosen to create the Declaration of Independence were John Adams from the Massachusetts Bay Colony, Benjamin Franklin from the province of Pennsylvania, Thomas Jefferson from the Virginia Colony, Robert R. Livingston from the province of New York, and Roger Sherman from the Connecticut Colony. The people of America know that the Declaration of Independence is a very important document for the USA. Every year on July 4th, they celebrate Independence Day.
Hey guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
They celebrate to remember the day that the Declaration was approved and the day that the United States of America became its own country. They often celebrate with parades, fireworks, and songs. The Declaration of Independence also talks about the simple ideas that the people who started the United States believed in. It says that every person in the United States has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It also says that the government has to listen to its people.
These things were what made America a free, independent country.
The document contains 5 sections: Introduction, Preamble, Indictment, Denunciation, and Conclusion.
The introduction states that it is sometimes necessary and natural for a group of people to want to break away and become independent to live in a way that is best for them. The preamble stated that under certain circumstances, the only way to justify such issues would be to revolt, but as the last option. The American people believed they were being harmed by England's leadership and that a fight for freedom was the only hope for the future of their families. The indictment of King George III addressed the terrible and harsh rules England had placed on America, one of them being high taxes and many other issues. The people felt that the king could not lead America from England and that their needs would never be satisfied. The Denunciation says that the American people asked for justice and were ignored. It also mentions that leaders requested an agreement to be split and had previously warned that they would do whatever was necessary to earn their freedom. The Revolutionary War continued until 1783, when England officially retreated. America was an independent nation at last. And the conclusion finally declares independence, pointing out that America had no other choice following the harsh treatment from Britain's government. The youngest signer was Edward Rutledge, who was only 26 years old, and the oldest signer was Benjamin Franklin, who was 70. Two people later became presidents of the United States: John Adams, who became the second president of the U.S., and Thomas Jefferson, who became the third president of the United States.
Did you know that George Washington did not sign the Declaration? He also did not sign the Constitution.
I think you mean the Constitution, Quinn, not the Constellance or whatever it was that you said.
George Washington became the first president of the United States because he was the military hero of the American Revolution.
The 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence were incredibly brave. They were the leaders of the colonial government. People knew who they were and where they lived. They had families, and they took an incredible risk signing the Declaration. They knew by doing this, they could be arrested as well as killed for creating it.
If you want to see the original copy of the Declaration, you can visit the Rotunda for the Charters of Freedom in the National Archives in Washington, D.C., where this document is on display.
Hey, did you like this video?
Hey, did you learn something new?
Then don't forget to
Sub and smash that like button,
and we'll see you on the next Hey, Guess What?
boom!